Hi guys, this is Aishwarya and today I'm going to talk about how to control your response through triggered wounds. Let's talk about what are trigger wounds. Any situation or conversation from which you get triggered through their actions can be either raising their voice, pointing fingers at you, or name calling you, which in result is hurting you. Anger basically is caused when your self-esteem is hurt. This anger can also be triggered because of your past wounds. For example, maybe in your childhood, you used to raise your voice against you, or they point fingers at you, they're trying to put you down, they're trying to mistreat you. That actually affects your self worth, and they've made you feel less about yourself, and that child within you is still hurting because of that child within you which is not healed still get emotionally triggered when someone is trying to put you down, and your emotions gets triggered instantly. You haven't completely healed those wounds yet. And now, as an adult, when you know your self worth, you don't allow that certain someone to raise your voice against you. And I'm so proud of you that you are able to take a stand for yourself. You are able to raise your voice for yourself. This actually proves that you know your self worth and you'll not let anybody else mistreat you. Always remember, you cannot ask someone to respect you. Respect is always earned. Now, the best way to control your emotions through your triggered wounds is to start speaking for yourself. Start communicating your emotions. Tell the other person that this is not the way you like to be treated. This is not the way you're supposed to talk to me. I am not gonna encourage this conversation at all. Still, that person is mistreating you, not respecting you, then it's time to cut off that person from your life. Or maybe if there is a similar situation because of which you are getting angry again and again, then you need to sit down, figure out why this situation is affecting me in such a way that either I am lashing out, I am getting irritated or frustrated because of the same topic which is being repeated. That means there is something unconsciously that you are not aware about is affecting, or something is going on in your mind about that situation which you are not comfortable with. So for that, you will need to start doing shadow work. First, let's talk about setting boundaries. So setting boundaries is so important because if you don't set boundaries, other person is gonna walk all over you. Even if it's your professional career, or it goes into your relationship, or even friendships, you need to set those boundaries. You need to figure out what kind of a boundary works for me, what are the things which I am not okay with, what are the things that I want others to know that they are not supposed to cross this line, and then stick to your boundaries. Don't change your boundaries just because someone is not ready to accept those boundaries. If they are crossing that boundary that you have set for yourself, that means they don't respect you. Do you want to stay with a person who does not respect you? And when it comes to relationship, it can happen that when you set certain boundaries, they try to pull you in a guilt trap where they try to put the blame on you, that because you are setting that boundary, I'm not feeling connected towards you. Trust me, that is not the case. They're just trying to manipulate you through guilt. They don't respect your boundary. Trust me, when you create those boundaries, and this will happen when you start setting boundaries, people will leave. But trust me on this, you'll thank yourself later, because you'll find the right people who are actually gonna respect your boundaries. Okay, the basic example for setting personal boundaries is you don't want any interruption while you're working. So you need to tell your partner or your friends that okay, this is a certain time that I need time for myself, and I want to set that boundary that I don't want to be interrupted, and maybe afterwards I'll make up for that time. And if other person respects your boundaries, they'll totally understand. And if they don't, then let them go. If you try communicating and they're still not respecting your boundary, they are not your people. At the end of the day, if they don't respect your boundary, you will get frustrated. So instead of building up a wall, start to build boundaries. Is because walls will keep everybody out. Boundaries will let others know where the door is. If it is your parent or your caregiver, then you need to start setting boundaries with them as well. Yes, as an adult, you need to start setting those boundaries. I know it can be tough to set boundaries with our parents because in our parenting culture, it is possible that they are not going to respect your boundaries. It is important that you communicate your boundaries with them. This is where I draw a line. This is where I am not going to tolerate you treating me like that anymore. This hurts me. I'm not okay with this. You need to tell them, and somewhere down the line, they will come around. Not saying it is going to happen right away, but change will happen slowly and gradually. But you need to raise your voice, you need to speak up for yourself. Now, let's talk about shadow work. So, shadow work is basically some of your anger, which is triggered through your emotional childhood wounds that you are still carrying with you till date, you can work on healing those wounds by addressing what those wounds are. So, for that, you will need shadow work. So, now what is shadow work? Shadow work basically means working with your shadow self. First of all, you need to go down into that memory lane and you need to pick a time period where your feelings were hurt, your emotions were neglected. Let's say, for example, you were cheated in a relationship. So, write down those feelings that you felt, because maybe you try to suppress those feelings, suppress those emotions, and you did not express those feelings openly. So, now those feelings are actually affecting you in some way, which is still making you angry because you have not healed from those feelings yet. So you need to express those emotions, you need to write it down in a paper, write it all down, write everything down, and then just burn it. This is the first step towards your healing journey. Accept. Don't just say like, yeah, okay, this thing happened with me, I'm fine with it. No, you're not supposed to be fine with it. You need to accept that yes, this happened with me, and you need to make yourself understand that it is not your fault, and whatever happened with you was not okay. And you will feel so much lighter. Huge weight has been lifted when you write down all those emotions. Because think of it in this way, if you don't keep addressing your emotions from time to time, you are building up all that trash in your mind, and that trash is not getting thrown out, it is getting piled up. So definitely those emotions which are being suppressed will keep you from being your better version. It will not allow you to level up. Believe me, acceptance is the hardest part, but easier said than done. Once you accept it, congratulations, you have already started your healing journey. And for some people, it is way harder to connect with emotions, because if they have been dealing with neglect wound, basically neglect wound is whenever as a child, maybe 1 year 2 year old, when you try to show your emotions, your feelings were neglected and they were addressed as like a disgust, like you are not supposed to cry, you're not supposed to be naggy, you're not supposed to be wanting and needy. Went into your subconscious mind that okay, if I show my feelings or emotions, I will be rejected. So now when you try to show your emotions, you automatically feel disgust about yourself that okay, I'm not supposed to cry, I'm not supposed to show these emotions. This feeling has been embedded in your mind from your childhood unconsciously, which is getting reflected in your personality now. Trust me, if you don't address your feelings and your wounds right now, it will affect your relationships, be in your career or in your personal life. If you don't heal it and take it forward, it is gonna be transferred into your children also, because some traumas are generational. Maybe your caregiver did not get that love and attention which got transferred into you, and if you don't heal it in your journey, then it will be transferred to your child also. And you need to start talking to your shadow self, start feeding positive affirmations like I deserve love, I deserve healthy relationships, trustworthy relationships, and start saying all these positive emotions. Stop with the negative emotions that you are flooded with, that I don't deserve this love, I don't deserve this relationship. If you believe that, if you talk in such a manner to yourself, definitely you're not gonna get all those things. Just always remember, you will only get what you feel you deserve. Listen to that again. So, for working through your triggered wounds and healing your childhood traumas, you need to start accepting, you need to start expressing your feelings. Maybe you can express it to your friend, maybe you are someone you can seek professional help, maybe someone you're very close with. Best way that I do is writing it down in a journal. Express your emotions, everything, whatever you felt in that situation, in that moment, write everything down. And trust me, it will make you feel a lot better. And you have to make it a practice. It's not just you one day you do it and it's done. Keep going into your childhood and to keep working on those emotions, your feelings, wherever you felt hurt. And slowly and gradually you will see a lot of change in your personality. Healing all those traumas will actually bring the best version in you, which you have been hiding from way long, that you did not even know. And it will help you rebuild your confidence, it will help you rebuild your self-worth, it will change your personality as a whole. If you have chosen to be on this healing journey, trust me, you are strong enough, you can do it, because you have come this far, you have that power within you. Trust yourself. Also realize this, letting out all your emotions actually helps you sleep better. It helps you release your anxiety, release your stress. Healing is a continuous process. You start working on it and you take control of your life back, and you're not controlled by your past anymore. Doing this shadow work will help you understand yourself better. It will deeper your love for yourself, will help you in accepting who you are, and it will actually help you be aware of the toxic patterns that you have been repeating in your relationships. It will help you find the root of your problems and your traumas. And if you want to know more about self-worth, self-love and self-confidence, then you can check out my other video where I have given a detailed perception about all those things. And if you like this video, then don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Don't forget to love yourself.